right, so I said that this unit was going to be on probability and statistics. We've been working on things in statistics, and now we're going to move on and do some probability stuff. So first, we need a few definitions. Like what is probability, and that's just the chance of an event happening. That's all probability is. It's a way for us to say, how likely it is for different things to happen. Okay? So, what is an event? Well, an event is an experiment. Okay? Which means it could be something as simple as rolling a die. That can be my event. Or flipping a coin. Those could be my events. Okay, I'm going to do things and I'm trying to find out the likelihood of the results. Okay, so the outcomes, one outcome is one of the possible results of an event, of an experiment. All of the outcomes, obviously, it's all the possibilities. So when I'm rolling a die, the outcomes are the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. If I'm flipping a coin, the possible outcomes are heads or tails. Okay. Those are my possible outcomes. And that's it. And so what probability does is it looks at the likelihood of those things happening. Now, I'm not restricted just to these things. Like if I'm rolling a die, I could ask, what's the probability of getting a 1? I could ask, what's the probability of getting an even number? Or what's the probability of getting something that's divisible by 3? There's an endless amount of questions I could ask to find the probability of. But these are the possible outcomes. That's what I have to keep in mind. Okay? So, how do you actually find probability? Well, probability is always a fraction. Okay? It's the number of ways what we want to happen can happen over the total number of outcomes. So what that means is if I'm rolling a regular six-sided die and I want the probability of rolling a 1, there's only one way I can get a 1. That's if 1 comes up. If any other number comes up, it's not 1. So that probability is 1 over the total number of outcomes, which is 6. But if I wanted the probability of rolling an even number, that means I could roll either a 2, a 4, or a 6. So there are 3 ways that I can get what I want out of 6 total outcomes. So that probability is 3 out of 6. That's it. Okay. So we have two special cases. We have things we call certain events and things that are impossible events. A certain event is something that has to happen. And that means the probability of that event will be 1. For an example, I'm rolling a die, a regular six-sided die. The probability of rolling something less than a 10 is guaranteed to happen because every number on the die is less than 10. So that means the probability would have to be 1. Because how many ways can I get something less than 10? Well, I could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. So 6 ways to get what I want out of 6 total outcomes. 6 over 6 is 1. An impossible event is obviously something that can't happen. And so that probability is going to be 0. So again, just using the die example, the probability of rolling a 7 on a regular 6-sided die. It's not possible. My only possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have no ways of getting what I want out of 6 possibilities. That's 0. So certain events, probability is 1. Impossible events, probability is 0. Anything else, the probability is somewhere between there, between 0 and 1. It's always a fraction. So let's say I randomly choose 5 7th graders out of the entire class of 7th graders to be on a committee. I want you to come up with an event that would be certain to happen, and I want you to come up with an event that would be possible to happen, impossible to happen. Bring those to class tomorrow, and we'll see what some of your ideas are.